Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican Queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is just how I see it live. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms who are listening, or if you're a part of the replay gang, happy Mother's Day to you. I hope y'all are having a great Mother's Day. So far. Hope you're relaxing. If you're a mom to be, if you are a grandma, if you are a mother figure, I hope that you are enjoying your day surrounded by lots of love and relaxation. Okay? There's a lot of things that I want to talk about today. I am relaxing myself. I told my husband that all I wanted to do today is just be in bed. So he made me breakfast this morning. I think they're downstairs making dinner. I don't know because I have not been downstairs, but I am relaxing. Let me say hi to everyone that's in here so far in the chat. Hi, Miss Mahogany Meeks, Miss Linda Gamble, Kathy Cruel, and Dolores. Oh, my aunt's name is Dolores. I love that name. Hello. How are y'all doing? Are y'all enjoying your Mother's Day? That's if y'all are mothers or mother figures. I always say mother figures too because you think a lot of people feel like you have to have given birth to a child to show up as a mother figure. But let me tell you, a lot of women, you touch the lives of children and young women in so many different ways. And if you are an inspiration to somebody's child, if you are a provider for somebody else's child, including the bonus moms, then you are a mother figure. And that should definitely be celebrated as well. It didn't say birth Mother's Day or bio Mother's Day. It said Mother's Day, generally speaking. All right. What were my topics? I don't remember. Okay. So, first thing that I want to jump into is the Love and Marriage Huntsville. You know what? No. Let me start with Melody's number one song on iTunes, on the iTunes R&B and R&B soul charts. That is amazing. Yesterday, when the song dropped, within a few minutes, I listened to it. I started bopping to it. I'm like, oh my God, this is a great song. Melody is spilling tea in this song. That second verse, I was I was like, oh my goodness, she is sliding on this track. And I was saying all of that to myself. And I'm like, why am I saying this to myself? Why not go live and say it to everybody else and stop talking to myself in my house like I am a crazy person? So I went live. I did an impromptu live, reacting to the song, trying to break down the lyrics as I was hearing them. And some of the lyrics I did not hear correctly because in one part I thought she said, "You carry more weight than I do." Hi, Tyler and Timon. How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Gamam or G-Mom? Oh, Tyler and Timon G-Mom. Okay, I get it. Hello, how are you? Hi, Mama Bees. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. And happy Mother's Day to you too, Tyler and Timon's G-Mom. So in one part of the song, I thought she was saying you carry more weight than I do. And I don't know why that made sense to me because as I said, I was reacting to the song live. So I didn't get a chance to see the transcript for the lyrics. I was just listening to the song. So you guys literally got my live reaction, my honest reaction listening to the song. And But then when I listened to it again, and somebody in my comment section also pointed that out to me, that she said, "You care way more than I do." I'm like, okay, so that makes a little bit more sense too, than you carry more weight than I do, because obviously that man does care more than Melody does. At this point, she has moved on with her life, and all she wanted was to have reasonably great co-parenting relationship, and he could not provide that because he still wanted control. And the only reason why he wanted control, and why he still needs control, is because he cares. He cares that he lost a good woman. He cares that he lost his family. He cares that he lost out on all these blessings that are pouring into Melody's life daily. He cares that people are more on Melody's side than they will ever be on his side. He cares about the fan base that Melody has, that he has obviously lost out on as well, right? Because trust and believe, all of us who support Melody at this juncture, if she was still married to him and they had businesses, we would have been supporting them together. So he missed out on all of that. And these are the things he cares about. He probably doesn't care in the sense of he is romantically still in love, but he is still in love with the idea of all the things that he's missing out on. And because he's missing out on those things, he doesn't want her to have them. He doesn't want her to have peace. He doesn't want her to have wealth. He doesn't want her to have a thriving business. He doesn't want her public brand to be perfect in the public's eyes. He wants to smear it. He wants to drag her through the mud. He wants people to have this bad taste in their mouth about her. And because that's not happening, he resents the heck out of her. And that is why he's doing all these things that he's doing. So when she says, "You care more than I do, and you really need to go tell everybody that," because what he's trying to tell people is that Melody is the one that's not leaving him alone. Remember in episode 1, that's what his mama said. Why doesn't she just leave you alone? And I'm like, lady, Melody's been out here not bothering that man. And on that weekend, if y'all remember, when he was going off on his Instagram, she really wasn't saying anything until he dragged her kids into it, or their kids into it. And then she came out the Sunday and she clapped back. So in my opinion, she hasn't been bothering him. She's been leaving him to his own devices. She's been leaving him to struggle out here, because that's what he wanted. He wanted a struggle life. He didn't want to build generational wealth and not create a stereotypical household for his children, where they are now being raised by a single mother every other weekend and a single father every other weekend. He took away from the two-parent, the stability of a two-parent household that his kids would have been, his black children would have been growing up in right now. And he also created another single-parent household in the same breath. So she's been leaving him to struggle, to have failing businesses, to still not be able to get, in my opinion, his builder's license. And they're talking about, why can't she leave him alone? She wasn't the one who put the child custody case in motion. He did. So that seems to me like he's the one bothering her. But if you are somebody that's not watching the show, or even if you watch the show, if you're not following the shenanigans on social media or on YouTube to hear some of the nasty things that his baby mama had been saying throughout the years online and to bloggers, then you would honestly feel like, okay, Melody's the one doing the most. But she isn't. He's the one doing the most. The people on his side are the ones doing the most. And then when she responds, when she reacts, then she becomes the bad guy. So I just wanted to point out that I was wrong about that lyric. So she said, you care way more than I do. And then when she said, you're speculating on your daughter, but I wish she did have another father. And I thought she said she wished that it was somebody hotter, which, tell me if I'm wrong. That kind of makes sense. That she wished that it was somebody hotter, because now that she's looking at him, he's not that attractive. The people who say Martel is an attractive man, I don't know what y'all are seeing. No offense. Hi, Lady Pooh 48. I don't know what they see. For me, when somebody has a bad character and you're seeing that play out, I can't find them attractive in any way, shape, or form. So maybe now in where she's at now mentally, she's looking at him and she's like, you're not even that good looking. You're not even that handsome. You're not even hot. What was I thinking? So that's what I thought she said in the song, but she said someone harder. And before that line, she said, the hoe is in your DNA, right? And if we're talking from a cultural standpoint, then she could probably have been calling him a bitch, which means he's not hard. You really just 304 out here. You're not hard. So I wish that my daughter that you're speculating on her paternity, having bloggers speculate on her paternity, I wish that she did have another father, somebody who is harder, somebody who could be a real man. That's what she's saying. I wish that her father was a real man, because you're not one. And she didn't lie. And he's short. Lady Pooh 48. Is he 5 feet 6? Ooh, I didn't know that. I heard that he was short, but I didn't know he was 5 feet 6. I'm 5 feet 7, so I'm taller than him. And Melody is tall. Because when I met her at Mimosas with Melody, well, I wasn't wearing heels. And I'm sure she was in heels, and she was towering over me a little bit. So she's tall. So 5 feet 6, dang, he is short. So when she said she wished that the baby's dad was someone harder, 5 feet. Oh, you're 5 feet 7, Mama Bees. Dang, yeah, he probably does have the Napoleon complex. He sure probably does. And he did, I think at one point in time, he did feel emasculated by her. You know what I mean? Because I remember one season, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but there was this one season, I don't remember if it was season 2 or 3, where she was collecting an award, and he was just whiny about it. He was whiny about it. And when she went up and she got her award, I think they were like in an argument or something. And she didn't thank him. She just, collected her award, thanked the people who were giving her the award. She talked about her accomplishments and things that she was thankful for, and she didn't thank him. And then he went into the confessionals, and it was like, it would have been nice if she could have, thanked me because I'm back. So I feel like he definitely felt like, as I said, emasculated by her, but that's not her fault. Martel, in my opinion, he knew that he was being complacent in that marriage. As she's also said in the song, he was complacent in that marriage, very comfortable in that marriage, and he's still comfortable now in where he's at in his life. So as she was on the rise, he stayed at this one level, thinking that the money that they were making in their property preservation business, that was all the money that they needed to make. He didn't feel like at any point in time he should go out there and get his own builder's license because he was using hers. He wasn't doing much either with the Love and Marriage Huntsville platform between season 1 and season 2 while they were still married. So, of course, as she is climbing in her career and as she's using the Love and Marriage Huntsville platform to launch different businesses and to step into different avenues, of course he's going to feel left behind. But that's not Melody's fault that he wasn't running the race with her, because he preferred to be down there in the mud with coleslaw instead of rising with his wife, who is super ambitious and smart and goal oriented. So she left him where he was, and that's where he still is. And once again, just like a lot of the other people on that cast, Martel resents her for rising. Isn't that something? Hi, Alyssa, Triplet. Hi, everyone. Oh, happy Mother's Day to you too, Alyssa. So the song went number 1, Nobody's Business. I'm sure everybody that's in here listened to the song already. But if you have, continue to stream it when you wake up tomorrow morning. Play it a couple of times on your way to work. When you're leaving work, play it some more. Let's see how long we can keep it in the number 1 spot on iTunes. And maybe we can stream it enough across all the major musical platforms that she can have her first song enter the Billboard 100 charts. Like that would be awesome, because this isn't her first song that has gone number 1 on iTunes. But I think, to how powerful this song is and to how much it's trending and to how much it's being talked about, it could honestly enter the Billboard charts. But that's up to us who are listening, right? And even if not the Billboard Hot 100s chart, it could place on the Billboard R&B chart. So we just have to keep streaming, y'all. All right, let's jump into Sunni Minx's interview last night with Dustin Ross. Please remember, y'all, to like this video and share the link if you feel like my content needs some crowd, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. So let's talk about Dustin's Sunni Ross and Dustin's interview last night. If you watched the interview, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see how many of y'all watched the interview, because she said a lot in the interview. And I don't know. I can take or leave Sunni, right? I don't care enough about this Destiny storyline to not be on Sunni's side or to be on Sunni's side. Like, I don't care enough. This is just, at this point, it's just pure entertainment for me. I feel like neither of them should be on the show. If you ask me, Sunni shouldn't be on the show. Destiny shouldn't be on the show. And Moses, he wasn't on the show when Destiny was on it before, while they were dating. So he should have kept his self off the show as well. So only one person plus myself watched the interview. All right, so I'm gonna break down some parts of it. All right, so Dustin, he asked Sunni about whether or not, or why she didn't consider herself forming a friendship with Destiny. And let me play devil's advocate here, y'all. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Because the way Sunny explained it, for me, it makes sense. Yeah, I feel like it's still a little bit weird. It's still a little bit crossing the line. But I understand what she's saying. So, she worked with Destiny for a couple of months on that show. And she said before she was Destiny's um, producer, she was producing Tiffany, right? So I'm guessing all those moments we got from Tiffany, her first her first season on the show, that was, well, I feel like also Tiffany is one of those people who's just gonna say what she wants to say. When she did that interview with Carlos, Carlos said that in her casting tape, Tiffany was just talking about everybody. She was telling her feelings, her thoughts, and opinions about everybody on the cast, and she wasn't holding back. So I just feel like what we got from Tiffany on the show is who Tiffany is in real life. And Sunny basically said that. So I don't feel like she needed that much producing. But, anyways, I digress. So she was producing Tiffany first. And then she said Destiny asked for her, requested for her to be her producer. And so she was reassigned to Destiny. I was like, okay, interesting. Because I heard on one other platform that it was Sunny that requested to be Destiny's producer. So Sunny cleared that up. She said that Destiny is the one that requested for her to be her producer. And she said Destiny was down to earth. She was a cool person. However, some of the other producers felt like Destiny was just super hard to deal with. She had an attitude. If she didn't want to do something, she was going to tell them that she didn't want to do it. And Sunny said that Destiny really didn't talk about Moses. She didn't talk about her personal life very much. She said when she was Destiny's producer, all Destiny wanted to talk about was Madani. And she also expressed that she understood that Destiny had some restrictions in terms of speaking about LeBeric. And we all know this. There was a gag order in place, and she couldn't mention that man's name on that show. And she couldn't mention anything much about the divorce on that show outside of saying, I'm divorced. So, okay, cool, understandable. But there was no gag order in place for why she could not speak on Moses. And she really didn't tell us much about that relationship. And so Sunny was saying her experience was Destiny didn't tell her a lot about Moses. The only thing Destiny wanted to talk about was Madani and her hair, I guess her things that she was doing with hair and whatever. And so when she goes into the timeline of meeting Moses, she says that, and I thought the first interview that Sunny did, or the first live that Sunny did, I thought that she met Moses on the set of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But what Sunny says is that she actually met Moses while filming was on a pause. She was in St. Louis, and Destiny was also in St. Louis having a birthday dinner. And Destiny texted her and was like, hey, I'm having a birthday dinner. Do you want to come through? And what Sunny explains is that as a producer, you have to build a certain level of rapport with the cast. It's like a thin line between I'm a producer and I can be your friend. But that line is there because the cast has to feel comfortable with their producer in order to share. Are you following me, y'all? Because sometimes I ramble. Sometimes I ramble and I lose my thought process. But yeah. She was basically saying that yes, there was a little bit of a blurry line there because producers have to be a little bit friendly with the cast in order to get the deep storylines that we as viewers want to see. And again, I feel like that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. So she said, okay, she went to the birthday party and she met Moses in passing. It was really just hi and bye. At the end of the day, that was Destiny's man and she wasn't interested. However, because the party was, or the dinner party was in St. Louis, there were people at the party that she knew. So she stuck around and she talked to those people, but she didn't have a full on conversation with Moses to know anything more or less than she had already known about that relationship. So she's fast forward a year later, she says, a whole year later, she spots Moses because at this point she's going to remember his face. So I'm like, okay, makes sense again. She spots him at a family gathering and she's like, it was an intimate family gathering where her brothers were there, her cousins were there, first cousins, her dad was there, her mom was there. It was a close knit or a small intimate family event, and Moses was there and she was kind of surprised, like, how do you know my people? And she said she called Destiny and said, "Hey, look who I ran into, your boo." And she said she passed Destiny the phone. Well, not Destiny. She passed Moses the phone, and he and Destiny had a small conversation, and that's when she found out that Moses, he grew up with some of her family members, so he was closer to her family than she knew at the time. And, that was a cool thing to find out. But again, she said she wasn't interested in dating the man. It was just basically just a coincidence that he was at this event that she was at, and she found out that he had ties to her family, right? And she said she didn't tell Destiny that the man was her cousin. She basically just made a joke that, he could be my people's, because this man that I know as Destiny's boyfriend is at this intimate family gathering, so he might be my people's. And I'm like, okay, I'm still following you, Sunny. It makes sense. So at this point, she says she's no longer a part of the show. Destiny's no longer a part of the show. And she says, yes, there were instances where Destiny would text her, but it's not like frequently. She's like, Destiny would text her, happy birthday. Okay, that's a work friend. I text my work friends, happy birthday. Not all of them, like the ones that I'm super close to. Let me be honest. So, no. So that part doesn't make sense. But I'm guessing too, if they built a certain level of a rapport while she was Destiny's producer, it wouldn't be so far-fetched that, Destiny would text her a happy birthday, or Sunny would text Destiny a happy birthday or something like. So that's not far-fetched, right? Because they worked closely together. Mama B says, I don't care. She married the man. Right? That's what I'm saying. I feel like none of them should be on the show. Like, this storyline should not be here, but since we're here and they're talking about it, then, as content creators, it's in our best interest from a YouTube money making perspective to also talk about it for content purposes. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. So she said, like a few months after she had met Moses that first time at her family's event, she met him again. She was in the car with her cousin, and he came up to the car to talk to her cousin. They were doing some real estate venture, and he was like, yeah, I do real estate too. We should connect on that level. And once again, she was like, okay, cool. It's business, right? And that's when he first got her number. And I don't remember the timeline. I wish I'd written it down. I think that was probably like maybe 6 months or 9 months or more later from the first time that they had actually met, right? Um, so she hadn't seen him again after that, after they had exchanged numbers. Um, However, she said there was this one point in time where he texted her, and I guess on some, we need to talk in person kind of thing. And when she responded, he was like, yeah, I want to talk to you in person. So you said she dressed down, she met up with him, and he was on some I like you kind of vibe. And she said, she was like, nah, I'm good. Because in her mind, she was saying that he and Destiny were still together. So maybe at this point in time, when he was on some, I like you, I've been watching you. And when she said that, I was like, okay, but you're saying that you only met this man twice in person. So where was he watching you? Like, that was my question. Did y'all see each other again? And if you saw each other again, why didn't you add that to the story? But the story that you're presenting in this Dustin interview is that y'all only saw each other twice in person, but he's calling you up and y'all are meeting one-on-one at some cafe or whatever, and he's saying that he's been watching you, he's watching how you move, he likes what you're doing in terms of business, y'all are on the same level, and he wants to get to know you, and you're like, nah, because you feel like, that's Destiny's man. And I guess at this point in time is when he made it clear that, he and Destiny weren't seeing each other anymore. Right? And so she said that he was a little bit persistent, and she prayed about it. And then she asked her real friends about what she should do. Right? And her real friends told her, we don't even know Destiny, so that's not your friend. And I was like, yikes, that's kind of harsh. I have friends who don't know my other friends. That doesn't mean that the other person who I've known for a lesser period of time isn't a friend. But okay, I see what her 20 plus year girlfriends were saying. I guess they were basically saying, like, you don't talk to us about her. She was just somebody you knew from work. Yeah, y'all text here and there, but that's not really your friend. That's not the person you kiki with. That's not the person you hang out with. That was just a work situation. You've only known her for like a couple months. So we don't see any issue with you dating this man. And she said she prayed about it some more. And she said to herself, she would normally move on the principle of the fact that this person was in an intimate relationship with somebody she is familiar with. She normally wouldn't have touched him, for want of a better word. But she's like, she doesn't know how maintaining that realistically, if it would actually be realistic, considering that she didn't feel like her and Destiny were that close of friends. And she's like, normally when she sticks to like these weird girl codes or whatever, it never serves her. So this was the one time she felt like being selfish, because she has friends who has ex-boyfriends who have tried to get with her, and she's turned them down because obviously those women, they are her long-term friends. So that's like a different situation. But the situation with Destiny, that's like not the same. So put me first, Lucius. So she decided that she was going to put herself first. She didn't feel like her friendship with Destiny with Destiny, or the budding friendship, or the association that she had with Destiny, was of God putting her husband before her, and she is turning down this blessing because she used to work with Destiny, and that was Destiny's man. I was like, okay, Sunny, I guess you are, I guess you are standing on what you said, and you are not changing. Oh wait, let me start with Darlene. Darlene Hawkins says, this is a produced do you mean the Dustin interview, Darlene, or are you just talking about like the whole situation with Dustin and Destiny? D Hereford says, that's how I feel. Why are they here, right? Why are y'all here? Who asked for this? Why is Destiny back offering the same nothing she gave before? Right, because that one scene that she did with Tisha, it was just like so boring. And then to find out that that scene was a whole lie, like y'all recorded event, it just goes back to what we continue to say. They're not giving us reality. Um, Hello, Miss Angela. How are you? Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for joining me here, and happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you're having a great day. So, after she breaks down that timeline, she says, she reached out to Destiny because she felt like woman to woman, and because Destiny is somebody that she worked with, she felt like it was important to just let her know that, hey, um, Moses told me that y'all broke up, and we're pursuing a relationship. I know it's a sticky situation, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is what I'm thinking her thought process was. But she said Destiny didn't respond. And so she moved forward with the relationship with Moses. And then by the time that they were about to get married, she says it was just a few months. They didn't have an engagement or anything. She just, they just jumped right into it, y'all. They said, we have, and I can understand this. Like, if the situation wasn't so just messy, I could understand meeting this man at your family function, realizing that y'all have so many things in common. Both of them do real estate. You have all these family ties in common. You're from the same city. You like the same things. You guys align when it comes to your spirituality. You both don't have children yet. So I could see how when down to the courthouse, messy, I stand. gotten married. Example, child, Chloe and Lamar ended. But yesterday happened. I don't the first time. Sorry, y'all. StreamYard, as trending at some point would say, is StreamYard. And is my mic on? Check, check, check. Not hearing me. Um. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay, no sound. Jesus. Check, check, check. Okay, are you hearing me now, y'all? Okay, I see the thing moving. StreamYard, it was StreamYard a while ago, in the words of Trending at some point. Trending would say, StreamYard is StreamYarding. All right. Thank you, Mama Bees. Okay, thank you, Kathy Cruel. All right, y'all. So we're back. I don't even remember where I was. So I'm going to jump to this. Oh, I was saying that people can have a whirlwind romance, and that's fine. But because the situation is so sticky, because of the person that they have in common, this is why, like, a lot of us can't wrap our minds around, okay, how did this relationship come about? Was there some entanglements happening? Were there some overlapping? Like, it's weird, right? And I don't know if many of you guys know this, but there are some corporate positions or some career fields where they have like emotional support specialists. Like, they aren't like therapists, right? So like in aviation, or like jobs where there's like high risk, there are people, or maybe even in the police force too, like there are people who you have to check in with to talk to them about like how you're feeling for that day or whatever, because of how high risk your job is. And what I found out is that in in the corporate world, they don't recommend that like their emotional support staff becomes close with the other staff members that they are assigned to. And when I was reading up on this, I was like, so we could look at Sunny as being like an emotional support staff member for Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and Destiny being the employee that Sunny was assigned to. And Sunny's job was basically to check the temperature on Destiny and where she is, to use that for storylines to produce the show. However, from an ethical standpoint, when I was doing my research, there is nothing that forbids this emotional support staff member from jumping into a relationship with the ex-partner of the individual that they were assigned to. The only thing the emotional support staffer can't do is expose like any confidential things that that staff member would have told them, right? So I'm going to do a video on that because it's a lot. Like, I didn't even know that this was a whole field. And what I was trying to do was to compare the Moses and the Destiny and Sunny situation to these people who work in these fields in like aviation and in law enforcement, and even in the army too, you have these people. But as I said, they are not like licensed counselors or psychologists. These are just people who like just check the temperature on the staff member, and if they need to recommend that they go see the counselor or the job psychologist, they will do that. I don't know how it works, but it's a thing. It's a whole thing. So Dustin asked Sunny to elaborate more on the things that she said she had done for Destiny in terms of pouring into Destiny. And y'all, this was where I was clutching my invisible pearls, because I didn't really expect her to say all the things that she did. And I know there's some of us who feel like Sunny is trying to garner the support of millimeters. I don't know, because I don't know Sunny enough yet to think that. It does sound interesting that this is the first time we're hearing this, but perhaps because she said it on the show is why now she has to elaborate on it. So it makes sense. So she tells Dustin that, if y'all recall, Destiny and Melody, they were set to perform at Monica's show in St. Louis. All right. And she said that she was basically trying to set up a scene. Melody and Destiny, they were at odds at that time during filming. The Monica event was happening during filming, and she thought she could get the cameras down there to St. Louis. She could get both women at the event, and maybe there could have been a kumbaya moment. Who knows? But she said Destiny got mad, and I believe it. I believe it. Like, I don't care if Sunny is just telling us this because she wants Melody support or Melometer support. But I believe that when Destiny found out that Melody was given the same opportunity by Sunny, Destiny flipped out. And Sunny said that that's when she realized that Destiny was looking at their producer cast member relationship as more than just that. Because here Sunny was trying to produce the show, obviously wanting to give Destiny the opportunity because she knew that Destiny was pursuing music. But as Sunny says, even if you're assigned to one cast member, you are still supposed to you still work with other cast members. So she's also cool with Melody, and Melody is pursuing music as well. And as part of her job as a producer, she's supposed to be creating scenes. And it would have been a great scene to see Melody and Destiny performing and maybe having a one-on-one conversation at the event. Maybe all the cast members would have been down there in St. Louis watching both of them perform. It would have been a great produced scene. So Destiny wasn't thinking on that level. She was on the Sunny, you're my friend and you're giving Melody the same opportunity. Why are you giving her this opportunity? I believe it. So Sunny said that was one moment where she was like, okay, girl, I see you're feeling some type of way. You feel like we're friends, but we're not really that. I'm here to work, right? And she said that when she got this opportunity for Destiny and why do I keep saying Moses? All these M names, y'all. And Melody, she knew that Melody was going to come on her A game. We know Melody can afford her dancers. Melody can afford makeup. Melody can afford hair. Melody can afford wardrobe. But basically what Sunny was saying is Destiny at the time was going through a lot financially, and she could not have afforded those things. So what Sunny did was she provided hair and makeup for Destiny. She got her some dancers. She got them wardrobe. so that next to Melody, Destiny wouldn't look stupid. And I was like, okay, good for Destiny. She had someone looking out for her. Her producer was producing, but she looked at that as, well, because you did these things for me, it means that we are friends and not that you're doing your job as a Kingdom Reign entertainment employee in helping me to produce the scene for this Monica show. So that's how she poured into Destiny. And she also said that Destiny was always on some woe is me type stuff. Again, I believe it because we saw that and we still see it now, right? Destiny, she said, is always complaining, always complaining, always complaining. And she said that whenever Destiny would complain, she would try to pour into her in the sense of, girl, you got so much going on for you. Madani might be closing. How about you put it on online? I'm not saying that's what she said, but I'm just thinking, like, if I was listening to Destiny whine about Madani closing down or Madani relaunch, I would have said, girl, there are not a lot of black online beauty stores. How about you put the store online? That would be less overheads for you. Girl, you had your real estate license. How about you go back and get that license renewed and go back to real estate? Destiny claimed that she was working in finance at one point in time. Why don't you start your own financial management firm or advisory firm? I don't know, or financial accounts firm or something. So I could see Sunny as a producer every time Destiny will whine about, well, it's me. Her saying, girl, you got a son, you got lots going on for you. Get up, start, you know, making some more plans, get a vision board, something. I don't know. But I see her trying to advise her in that way. Again, it doesn't mean that she was trying to be best friends with Destiny. It just means that she was trying to continue to build that rapport as a producer who needs the talent to be able to trust her enough so that she can pull storylines out of her. Let me read some of the comments. Roz Thompson says, did you hear what Martel did? Okay, I will check that out later. Um, oh, and we knew about that already. That happened like while they were separated. That's before the divorce was even finalized. He had taken what, like 17,000 from one of her accounts, and he didn't put it back even when the courts told him to put it back. So yeah, we know about that. Roz Thompson. Lady Pooh says, I'm not surprised at what Sunny said about Dustin. I'm sorry. I'm trying, I've been trying not to call her Dusty or Destiny. Like, it's always on the tip of my tongue to say Destiny, but I've been trying to be respectful. Okay, I've been trying to be respectful. But Lady Pooh says, I'm not surprised at what Sunny said about Destiny, the female version of Martin. I feel you. I feel you on that. I'm not surprised at her being upset because Melody was going to be on the show too. It takes a lot for some women to understand that you can shine while the other woman next to you is shining as well. Right? It takes a grown woman to understand that you can fix your crown, you can adjust your sister's crown, and that doesn't mean that she's going to take your crown from you. So I can see Destiny whining about Melody being on that Monica show. Whether or not she was negative, does that mean go behind her back and date her man? I mean, I'm not saying that it's right. If you, TT, if you had been in the chat earlier, I don't know if you were here earlier, I said that I don't care either way. It's messy in my opinion. I'm just breaking down the interview that Sunny did with, what's his name? With Dustin Ross. That's all we're doing here. Breaking it down. Okay, so I will go and watch that later, Ross, because I like that content creator. So I'll go watch it later. Um, where was I? And I've said in another video that if I was in Destiny's shoes, I would feel some type of way. Like, I can say that I don't see it for Destiny, but I can look at it from a human being's perspective. All of us in here as women, we can say if we were in Destiny's shoes, we would feel some type of way. If we felt like we were building a friendship with this woman and then she pops up married to our ex-partner just a few months after we broke up with our ex, we would all feel some type of way. I've said that in a lot of videos. So maybe check those videos out so that you get full context as it relates to how I feel about this whole situation, right? And then Sunny goes on to say in the interview that one of the reasons she kind of pulled back from even thinking about having any kind of a friendship with Destiny is because she saw how Destiny um, was coming at Melody during that season where they had a breakdown in the friendship. She said that Destiny would trash talk Melody. She was trying to expose who Melody was sleeping with. She wanted to give Sunny the numbers to people who would trash talk Melody. And I'm like, this is where I had to hit pause because in one breath Sunny is saying, Destiny never like shared any personal information with me. Well, it seems like she was sharing a lot of personal information with you about Melody. So she was confiding in you about personal things as it relates to Melody. So you see, that's where that line is again. That line, it's so blurry between producer and friend, because was Destiny telling Sunny all these things about Melody because she wanted Sunny as a producer to get these things on the show, or was she just venting to Sunny in the space of, I see you as a friend, so while I'm mad at my other friend, let me tell you all this dirt on her. It's like, it's so muddy. The line is so blurry because I'm wondering, well, okay, if Sunny had decided to use the information for the show, what would have happened? You know what I mean? I'm trying to see how that would have played out in my mind. Let's say Sunny had said, okay, let's get the person who can tell us all this dirt on Melody on the phone. Would that person then would have been brought on the show to badmouth Melody? And who is this person? Well, Sunny said people. Destiny wanted to give her contacts for people who could badmouth Melody. So who are these people? So what Sunny said was, when she looked at that entire situation, she was like, if Melody was your friend for all these years and you could dog her out like this to somebody who is still virtually a stranger to you, then what are you going to do to me if we fall out? And she said when she thought about all of that, that's when she said, Destiny isn't my friend, so it's okay for me to go ahead and date her ex, Moses. That was what the bulk of the interview was about. She said Destiny isn't an energy vampire. And you know what? Sunny kind of alluded to that as well. She said that she saw so many people pouring into Destiny. She saw so many people pouring into Destiny. Melody, I'm thinking also Kimmy, I'm thinking Tisha, I'm thinking the entire cast at some point in time was pouring into Destiny. But what Sunny says is that she has never seen Destiny pour into anybody. And what Sunny says she needed from friendships, any friendships that she has, is is somebody who can reciprocate whatever she is given. So if she's pouring into Destiny's cup, she would have needed Destiny to pour into her cup as well. And she didn't see Destiny pouring into anybody else's cup. So those are the reasons she gave Dustin as to why she didn't view Destiny as a friend, or in or she didn't see any how can I put it? She didn't feel like whatever budding friendship they had was strong enough or was as important for her to not date Moses, if that makes sense. Right? The whatever relationship Destiny felt like her and Sunny was building, Sunny didn't feel the same. And that is why Sunny said, okay, let me date Moses. Let me marry this man. And then she had, you know what, when she said on the episode last night that that it was hers and Moses' destiny to be together, I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled. Because that was a messy thing to say. It was a messy thing to say. And I wasn't chuckling because of any dislike for Disney. I was just chuckling because, girl, what? Why are you saying that? It's like it came across as she really just doesn't care. And that's fine. I would prefer somebody walk in a room and own what they did and say, I don't care, I did it, I'm married, it's whatever, than for somebody to walk in a room and make like a bunch of excuses and not own any of it. So if anything, we can give Sunny that. Like, she's gonna own her mess. And she did say it's messy, it's not an ideal situation, but it is what it is. And as I keep saying, neither of them should be on the show. But since they're on the show, this is where we are with it. Now let's talk about episode 2 of the season. And there are a couple of things that stood out to me. So first, let's talk about the Kiki and Melody situation, right? So when the preview for the scene was posted to social media, I was in the comment sections of two of the popular blogs that, post about reality TV. And a lot of people, they were like, well, there goes Mel again, falling out with somebody else, or basically saying that Melody is the problem. And I told myself that I wasn't going to be windmilling anymore in any of these comment sections, because that's why I started a YouTube in the first place, because I would be online in these comment sections writing paragraphs that people aren't going to read. So I was like, instead of having these paragraphs on social media, let me read my paragraphs on YouTube. But I found myself in the comment section again, windmilling, because as I said in replying to somebody, if you did not watch in real time this situation between Melody and Kiki play out on social media and on YouTube, then you don't need to be speaking on this situation at all, because by just watching the show, you have a lot of context missing. And that's the facts. Those are the facts. We saw this play out last year during the Houston trip. We didn't even know that Kiki was on that Houston trip, right? But then a blogger came out. One second, y'all. Sorry, my bonus son had the TV so loud. Jesus. So we saw the blogger come out on one of his lives last year. Was it last year? It was last year. And was doing all this dramatic stuff, talking about if Melody did something wrong, would y'all hold her accountable? And it just seemed like, oh my God, what did Melody do? And Melody had to post that, people were in her DMs asking her what she did wrong. And she was like, I did nothing wrong. I don't know what y'all are talking about. And I recall Melody going into the chat of the blogger saying, basically she wants to know what she did wrong because she doesn't know what he's talking about. And then he ended the live, right? And then this thing continued. It snowballed into just something so huge that involved Mel's manager. She was thrown into it, and she was thrown into it because Mel did nothing wrong on the Houston trip. But this blogger, he kept using Melody's name and the name and photos and stuff like that to garner this idea that there was just this brewing beef between him and Melody over something that Melody supposedly did on the Houston trip. So fast forward, we find out that Kiki was talking to this blogger and was revealing scenes to this blogger. And supposedly her mom was also talking to this blogger and other bloggers as well. However, when the Houston thing happened, Kiki claims that she called her mom venting and crying because she felt like Melody didn't have her back. And Kiki's mom, I don't know if the blogger called her at the wrong time or she decided to call the blogger, and Kiki's mom was venting to the blogger as well. And then it created this narrative that Melody did something just so horrible to Kiki. And instead of the blogger holding on to that information until things could have been made a little bit more clearer, he came on his live and he threw that question out there, and it created a whole poop storm, right? Weeks go by and everybody is talking about this. Things are happening on that blogger's channel. Kiki's still interviewing with him. Kiki's doing lives, and it's not being made clear what Melody supposedly did, or it's not being made clear that Melody did nothing to her. Until Melody had to go to her Instagram live and expose a whole bunch of craziness that this blogger had been doing. Well, before Melody went live, I remember her manager, Miss Dawn Michelle, she had to do an interview with Queen Sheba, clearing the air because of things that this blogger was also putting out there about her. And then following that, Melody did her live, just blasting him with a whole bunch of receipts. And even then, Kiki didn't come out and say, okay, y'all, this is what happened. Well, I guess she tried, but she was rambling as much as I ramble, y'all. She was rambling so much that it still wasn't being made clear. And then to find out that Kiki flew home on the same flight as Melody, which means she was in the airport with Melody, probably sitting side by side for a few minutes or maybe an hour or two waiting for their flight back to Huntsville. And she didn't try to clear the air then, knowing at that point in time that that blogger had gone live and said what he had said or posted the question that he posted. She flew home next to Melody on the flight, and she still didn't try to clear the air. Weeks went by, months went by, and she still didn't clear the air. I recall being in one of Kiki's Instagram lives where she says that she didn't have to clear up anything. She didn't have to clear the air on anything. I recall this, right? She said she already said Melody didn't do anything to her and she didn't feel like she had to clear up anything any further. But the fact is she did, because the blogger in question, he kept going and going and going and was muddying the waters. So if you didn't follow all of that happening on social media and on YouTube, then you really have so much context missing, where just watching the show, it's gonna seem like, yeah, Melody is falling out with somebody again. And I hate when people say, sorry, I'm getting my charger. I hate when people say Melody is falling out with people. Melody isn't falling out with anybody. Melody is establishing boundaries. She's seeing how people are moving. They're not being genuine friends. The minute there's a miscommunication moment, they start dogging her out. And when she feels betrayed, she has every right to step back from a friendship. Oh yeah, Elizabeth Harrison, Melody did pay for Kiki's flight back. So when you put all of that into context, Kiki had so many opportunities to talk to Melody one-on-one. And here's what I would have done if I was Kiki, right? The minute that blogger had gone live and posed that question, I wouldn't even need Melody to call me. I would have called her up and I would have been like, hey, we definitely need to talk. This is what has been happening. I was trying to build relationship with bloggers. I thought that this person would be a great part of my team in terms of promoting the things that I wanted to do, because he had at that time a very large following. Majority of his following were millimeters at that time, right? And nothing is wrong with trying to build a team around you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with marketing. And so if at the time she felt like that blogger had a platform that she could have utilized to push her books or her products or whatever it is, then fine. But when he went live and started insinuating things and creating mess, that was the time to say, now I'm seeing that he isn't as trustworthy as I thought he was. I vented to my mom because I was angry in the moment. I've had time to cool down. And the way I felt when I called my mom is not how I feel now. And so it's unfortunate that he is going on his YouTube live trying to create a problem when there's not one. But I just wanted you to know that, yes, because I felt like I could trust this blogger, I was revealing things about the show that I should not have. And yes, it would have been a hard conversation to have, but maybe at that point in time, Melody could have put her team on it, could have sent out some cease and desist, something. And perhaps there would have been a way forward in the friendship. Because at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we have moments where we explode and we say things out of anger. But that doesn't mean that in our hearts, we have hate for the person we're venting about. And I feel like Melody would have been able to understand that if Kiki had told her the second that dude's life ended that night, instead of ignoring Melody's calls. And then in order to do damage control, you get back on a phone call with this blogger who's already proven that he can't be trusted. And now he's recording your calls where you're saying, yeah, she was calling me and I wasn't answering. And you're saying all these things that makes you look bad. That makes you look like a bad friend who's bad mouthing somebody who, as Kiki said in the episode last night, you're bad mouthing somebody who has been nothing but kind to you. And I agree with Melody when she said, I went to bat for you so that you could come on the show. Because I'm sure Tisha didn't want her on the show. I'm sure Marcel didn't want her on the show. So Melody went to bat and said, listen, Kiki has a story to tell. She's overcoming addiction. She's trying to write a book. And her story can help people. And Melody was probably advising Kiki, like, these are the things that you should talk about. Your relationship with your husband and things that y'all have endured, your addiction and how that impacted your marriage. But then Kiki comes on the show and the narrative became Melody brought Kiki on to badmouth Tisha. And Melody had to sit and take all those hits, even though she knew that why she helped Kiki to come on the show had nothing to do with Tisha and whether or not Marcel is cheating or not, but everything to do with trying to help Kiki build her brand. But Melody took those hits. And then last season we saw Melody when Kiki was being attacked for allegedly still being on drugs. Melody said, nope, I'm not going to let that fly. You're my friend. We're going to make you do a drug test on camera to prove that you're no longer using. So Melody has shown up times and times and times again for Kiki. Not to mention, as you said, Elizabeth, Kiki went to the Houston trip where she wasn't invited. And I guess allegedly she didn't have the money for a return flight or whatever. And Melody, like any good friend would, paid for her ticket so that she could go home. So this woman has been nothing but kind to you since the day y'all met. And this is how you repaid her. Yeah, Melody has every right to back up from that friendship. And it would be absolutely telling what Kiki does next. Is she going to go on the team of let's bash Melody now that Melody has pulled away from our friendship? Or is she going to remain humble and stand in the fact that she absolutely did Melody wrong? And so there's no reason for her to badmouth Melody because Melody hasn't done anything to her. I'm waiting to see what Kiki's going to do next. And I heard that Kempire says, Kempire is another fellow Jamaican on YouTube. I love his channel. And he said that Kiki reached out to him for an interview and he declined because, Kiki wasn't going to come use his platform for just any old reason. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm guessing she was just out here just reaching out to a multitude of bloggers without having like a clear plan for what she was going to do with the platform that is Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I recall when another blogger that I love, Tea Talk with Your Girl, she interviewed Kiki. I, clicked that link and I jumped on the panel to talk to Kiki and I said, I am an aspiring writer. I love to write poetry, music, short stories, and I want to write a novel. And if you do your creative writing class, I will be one of the persons who will sign up for your class. And this is before all the Houston stuff was exposed. So a lot of us, we were rooting for Kiki. I didn't like how they were telling the story about her addiction. I felt like it was important while you're trying to be messy to also educate about opioid addiction. And I didn't feel like Kingdom Reign and its production team did a great job in educating the public about opioid use and methadone treatment as and using methadone to treat opioid addiction. I didn't feel like they did a great job with that, and I feel like it was irresponsible. So I was rooting for Kiki. So the fact that all of this was exposed, it made me sad for her because I felt like she had the opportunity to use Love and Marriage Huntsville to turn her tests into a testimony and to be paid for her pain. But she didn't listen to a lot of people who were giving her great advice. And so this is where we are right now. That sit down between Sunny, Tisha, and Kimmy was a mess, in my opinion. It was unnecessary. Y'all were Tisha and Kimmy, they were on Sunny's Instagram liking those wedding pictures or engagement pictures. So, and they knew at that point in time that Moses was Destiny's ex-boyfriend. So what if y'all feel like she is trifling, as Tisha said, why were you liking the picture? Was it more so I'm liking it so you see that I see you? Or were you liking it because congratulations, girl? It makes no sense. And I hate when people do things like that, especially for reality TV. However you feel off camera is how you should feel on camera. So if you were liking the picture off camera, then keep that same energy now that you've talked to Destiny or now that Sunny is in your presence, right? So I guess if Tisha feels like the girl is trifling, then that's Tisha's opinion. I don't know if trifling is the word that I would use. I continue to say the lines are a little bit blurry when it comes to this situation. And it seems like on set, Sunny was a great producer. Kimmy said when she was going through her cancer, Sunny was one of the people on the team that did a lot for her. And Sunny, in her interview with Dustin, she elaborated on that. She was like, she'd go pick up medication for Kimmy. She would, bring food. She would buy alkaline water, stuff like that. So it seems like Sunny was a cool person on set. It's just this situation is just messy. And okay, my daughter came to complain. Oh my gosh, kids, I tell you. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. Had to be multitasking. And all I said I wanted on this Mother's Day was peace and quiet. I guess it's 6 and the kids are like, okay, your peace and quiet time is done. Oh Jesus. All right, y'all. So still okay, I'll let their dad handle that. So it seems like Sunny was a cool person that everybody liked on set until this whole mess happened. And I don't know, it seemed to me like Tisha was just doing a lot. I don't know why they're so invested. It's not their Moses is not their man or their ex. I feel like maybe there was some interlapping going on, but at the end of the day, Moses wasn't married. Sunny didn't break up a family or anything like that. From Destiny's own mouth, her and Moses were broken up for about 5 months before she found out about him and Sunny. So I I don't know. I don't see why Kimmy and Letitia need to be disinvested to the point where you're in this woman's face calling her trifling. It's okay to feel that way, but that's like kitchen table talk, you know. And I feel like in the scene, from just an entertainment perspective, Sunny handled that well. Now let's get to sorry y'all. Marsaw Maurice and hotel scene pissed me off. It pissed me off because they were in that scene not really trying to hold Martel accountable for his behavior. It was a melody and a mellometer bashing moment, in my opinion. Right? Tell me if I'm wrong, because that's how I saw it. They didn't say you were wrong for threatening to release Revenge P on your ex, knowing that y'all are not in a good place, knowing that y'all don't even really talk like that. So her only option was to report it because it is a crime in Alabama to threaten to release intimate images. And Maurice, a whole lawyer, could have said that to Martel. Like, yo, at the end of the day, what you did was indeed illegal. And you should know at this point in time that Melody doesn't trust you. So, what do you expect her to do? You expected her to believe that you wouldn't have carried out the threat? She she didn't take it lightly and she went and she reported you. That's on you. But this whole thing about, you know, don't go on, I guess they were talking about the Tasha K interview because the mellometers are a set of deplorables. I was like, really? Is that really how you feel? You feel like it's deplorable that there are women out here who see Martel for exactly who he is and we continue to call it out? That's deplorable. And not his constant misbehaving. And it's not just him threatening to release that image. It's Melody letting it be known that while she was working on that own show, what is it called? Behind Every Man or something like that. When she was working on that show, how Marta popped up and acted a whole fool in front of people, damaging equipment. She didn't report him then for vandalism and harassment. It's him popping up while she's on a date or whatever, or even if she's just sitting down with a friend, him popping up with a camera in her face. That's stalking, that's harassment. And these are facts, right? These are facts. It's him assaulting, in my opinion, Melody's friend and makeup artist, Jay, at one of those reunions. It's him recording his daughter talking about things that she's talking about to her therapist, and him recording that to make it seem like Melody is bad mouthing him to her children and putting that out there on social media. It's his mistress. One second, guys. I tell you, my kids, they were quiet the entire day. And as soon as I decided to go live, they decided they were going to come upstairs with their games and they were going to sit right near my door making noise. Isn't that something? All day long, they were quiet. I mean, I should give it to them that they respected what I wanted as a gift for most of the day. But y'all, just give me like, I don't know, maybe 50 minutes more and I'll be done. So it's him doing all these things to her, things that I'm sure they know about. His mistress, baby mama, I don't know what to call her. I don't know what purpose she serves in his life at this point in time. So I'm going to go with baby mama. His baby mama talking to bloggers and saying she has the tape and she can send it to them and she's shown it to her friends. His baby mama on phone calls with a blogger revealing some of the most heartbreaking things that she claims allegedly happened to Melody. And saying some of the most disgusting things about Melody on social media. And talking about his 4 children with Melody on social media. And him never coming out to say, I don't condone anything that my baby mama got going on in social media as it relates to my ex-wife. I have asked her to not speak on my ex-wife and to not speak on my children with my ex-wife. And so I'm publicly putting her on notice that I don't condone anything that she's saying, but he's never done that. He's allowed it over and over and over and over again. And in the minute Melody stands up for herself, and when Melody doesn't say anything, and her fan base is calling out the BS, the fan base are a set of deplorables. He even said in the scene, y'all, that it's not about the fan base. It's about him trying to one up Melody. And for what? She didn't send you to jail. She didn't get you arrested. You got yourself arrested by doing something illegal. And if Marceau and Maurice were good friends, they would have said, stop right there. She didn't get you arrested. Your actions got you arrested. And what you should be doing is trying to atone for all the wrongs that you've done instead of going on an interview trying to release a video that shows a reaction to something that you did. Because once again, he feels like the audience, we are fools, and that we don't recall certain things from during the Ponderosa when Kovisha was happening. And Melody went live because he wouldn't let her out of the house. Or when Melody went live because she went there to get her things from their once marital home, and he refused to allow her to get her things. And then when she reacted, now he wants to make it seem like it came out of nowhere and that she's just here hitting on me and I'm abused. But thank God a lot of people have sense. Oh, and I forgot, taking money from her account. So he's done so much that goes beyond him cheating and having a baby with a woman who is just so low down. His behavior goes beyond just that. Because in my opinion, Melody is over the fact that he cheated. She's been over him having a baby with that woman. She has been long past that. Where she is now is dealing with the things that have been said and done on social media and physically done as well. Meaning, what, as I said before, him showing up to the production set of the show that she was doing and acting a fool. Him assaulting Jay Taylor. Him dragging her through court to get sole custody of her children. Him badmouthing her to bloggers. Him doxing her through a blogger. Those are the things Melody's thinking about. Not the cheating. Because the cheating would have happened, and if he could have moved on in a civil manner where they could co-parent, where they could go on a trip to Destin, every year with the kids, then Melody would have been in that mindset. But because of all the things that he continues to do and all the manipulation tactics, she has to keep her guard up constantly. And until Martel gets to a point of healing, and this is what Maurice and Marcel should have been telling him, until you get to a point of healing, Melody is never going to want you in her space. And your children are never going to have the type of co-parenting relationship that they deserve, since you are the one that you're the one that broke up their two-parent household. So the least you could give your children is a civilized co-parenting relationship. And he couldn't do that. He can't do it. Because he wants a win so badly. And it doesn't matter how small it is. See, he thought sharing that video with Tasha K would have given him a win, and it didn't. He thought sharing those court documents would have given him a win, and it didn't. And he's going to continue and continue and continue just to get a small win. But it's never going to happen because he's not standing on the side of right. And in the words of Nene Leakes, you never win when you play dirty. And Melody's music video, for me, it revealed some things. And a part of me hopes that it's just art. But the fact that there was a specific date, like of all the dates that could have been used, there was that date, April 11th, 2020. And she said that she left the marital home. What was it? April 19th, I think it was. Somebody in the chat tell me. I think it was April 19th, 2020 that she said she decided to finally just be done. And she said this was before she knew about a baby. She just realized that he wasn't going to stop cheating and she wasn't going to live that kind of life with him. And so she left. So the fact that she used that particular date, it stands out to me. It stands out to me. I hope that it's really not something that happened in an elevator for real. But the video told so many other truths, like the baseball bat situation and the lighter fuel situation on the couch. Him, taking money from her account, her bank account. The video told those truths, which we know are truths. So why would this particular bit of him, well, of the actor in the video, seemingly assaulting her, standing over her in the elevator aggressively, grabbing on her arms, seemingly like his hand around her neck. Like, I don't know why, with all the other truths in the video, why that would be the lie. Three truths and a lie. I don't think that's the game that Melody's playing. I think she was being very specific. She was being very specific in the scenes that she used for the video. So it made me, I love the song, but the video, it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. It made me a little bit sad. It made me wonder about all the things that Melody hasn't shared, which she has a right to not share every single thing that she's gone through in that marriage. I remember in one scene, I don't remember if it was season 1 or season 2, where they were arguing in the bedroom and she went into the closet, and it seemed like she went into the closet to cry. And that kind of broke my heart for her, because I know that there's so many women who, they have children and they're going through emotional, abusive situations. And when they cry, they go and they lock themselves in the bathroom, or they go and they lock themselves in the closet, or they go and they lock themselves in the car because they don't want their kids to see them cry. And so I was like, damn, the video, it really it pulled at my heart a little bit, because I'm like, if the other two scenes, the lighter fuel and the other three scenes, the stealing of the money, the baseball bat, the lighter fuel scene, if all those scenes we know are the truth, why would that one in the elevator be a lie? Am I making sense? Am I making sense, y'all? Let me read some comments before I go. Roz Thompson says, I'm keeping my eyes on Stormy. Both she and Kiki were friends with the same blogger. Well, Stormy is still friends with the blogger, is she not? I heard that she was over there in one of his live chats giving like $1,000 to for 499 super chats. I don't know if it's true, because I wasn't over there. I'm just repeating what the YouTube streets are saying, and a lot of the things that the YouTube streets say turn out to be the truth, especially the street that I'm on. The street of the bloggers that I follow. A lot of the things that they say turn out to be the truth. So I don't know, it seems like Stormy is very much still chummy with that blogger, in my opinion. Oh, and you said, and you did say that too. You said, and Stormy is still friends with him, in my opinion. Yep, and that is my opinion too. Ross Thompson, I don't know if Destiny was still involved with Moses while he was married. It's questionable that she said that they had, and I need you to understand this, when she was on that Dear Future Wifey podcast with that dude, I don't remember his name, Leviticus. I don't remember his name. But when she, not Leviticus. I need to go learn that man's name. But anyways, when she was on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, she said that her and Moses had a 15-year on again, off again relationship. That came from her own mouth, right? This isn't what Sunny is saying. This isn't what any blogger is saying. That's what Destiny said from her own mouth. And if Moses, if Moses got a divorce in 2018, and we're doing the math, I mean 2018 to 2023, that's not 15 years. That sorry guys. Um so 2018 when he got a divorce to 2020 what 3 when they broke up, or 2022, I don't know. That's not 15 years. So I don't know. Again, this whole situation is so messy. It's like so messy all around. It's so messy. So I don't know if she was dealing with that man while he was married. I could not tell you. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Tawana. And again, I love your name, Oppressing Women Network. I love it. Um, did you read this article? Revenge P victim reaches out to share with other women by Melanie Posey. Oh, Birmingham, Alabama. It has the judge's verdict. Oh, wow. I am going to read that. I'm going to read that. I need to commit that to memory. Reaches out Melanie Posey. Okay, I'm going to remember that name. More comments before I jump off. Ross Thompson, you're right. Most elevators have cameras. Mel's legal team may have obtained the footage as proof of the incident. True, very true. And remember that Melody's manager, Miss Dawn, said that Martel isn't the only one with recordings. So whenever they drop those recordings, if they ever drop them, I feel like Marcel was talking about, even if Martel drops an atomic bomb, nobody's going to care. The truth is Martel doesn't have any atomic bombs. He doesn't. I feel like the person with those nuclear bombs is Melody. That's what I think. So yeah, you're right. Most elevators have cameras. So if that scene from that video actually happened in real life, then I'm sure that it's a reason why that timestamp was in that video. And I'm sure Melody and her legal team has some proof. Hi, Cece. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. If the elevator scene in the music video occurred, which I think it did, and I actually think it did too, I hope Melody has the security footage, and she probably does. She probably does have the security footage. So y'all, that's it for my Mother's Day live, how I see it live. I don't know, I have to create like a whole clip that's different for when I go live, because I have my accurate context. And sometimes I might do accurate context live. I might do a thought clip live. But when it's not accurate context, and when it's not a thought clip, or when it's never going to be a why caught alive live, because I am still trying to figure out StreamYard and how to share my screen and all those things. And I don't really like going live. I love doing my pre-recorded videos where I can edit and do all these things and then post it and enjoy the chat with y'all if y'all, are in the chat during the premiere. Going live, it's kind of daunting for me. I don't know. I might not sound nervous, but I'm nervous, which is why I'm rambling so much. When I'm doing my pre-recorded videos, I have my notes together and it's more seamless to me. But being live, I don't even have notes in front of me. So again, I ramble, I go off topic, I digress. See, I'm doing it right now. So I don't really love going live, but I want to do it more. And I'm super thankful that y'all join me for this Mother's Day live. Also, y'all, I want to remind everyone, okay, that I am on a mission. It's a passion of mine. I am on a mission to help combat period poverty in Jamaica. As y'all should know, and I say it at the beginning of every video, I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I moved to the US in 2016 or 2017. I don't remember which one. And I've been living here since. I've only been back home once since I've been here in the US. And that was 2019, right before COVID hit. But I am planning a trip back home in December. My family is having a family reunion. And so I am packing, groceries and stuff like that for the family reunion, for us to cook and whatever, plates, all of that. But I want to utilize that shipment, and I want to put a whole bunch of period products in that shipment that I'm sending off, right? And what I'll be doing is I will be donating all those period products that I buy to one of the two organizations in Jamaica that I know of. One of them is Her Flow, and y'all can go look her up on Instagram. I feel like that's where I'll be donating the products to. And what she does is she goes around to different schools across Jamaica and she educates young women about their menstrual cycle, about proper hygiene during their menstrual cycle. And she gives out sanitary napkins to the students and to the schools so that the school can have in stock sanitary napkins for the girls in these high schools that don't have access to period products. And it might sound crazy to y'all, but this is a global issue, right? It's a global issue. In Jamaica, 60%, y'all, of women, they do not have access to menstrual products or proper sanitation. So this includes not having like a proper bathroom to get themselves clean while they're on their cycle. Probably not having access to running water and stuff like that in some areas, of the country, of course. And there are young girls who unfortunately they live below the poverty line, so they can't afford a whole pack of pads. So maybe they go to school and one of their best friends, she gives them like maybe 3 pads, and then they're using those 3 pads for the entire week. It should sound horrible to y'all, but this is what is happening. And a lot of these girls, they're also using unsanitary things on their period. So maybe they're using cloths that they shouldn't be using, or they're reusing pads, which is not good. That can cause yeast infections and other problems down there that we don't want our young girls to have. And also that is going to smell. And a lot of girls, they're missing school because they can't afford to buy period products. So as I said, I'm rambling again. My plan is that I've already started to pack my box to ship off to Jamaica, and I've already started buying a few pads here and there. I go to Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree sells like those little boxes, so if I go into Dollar Tree and I have like $5 or $10, I'll pick up some. If I go to Dollar General, I'll pick up some. So I am asking y'all that if you guys want to donate to this cause, as little as $1.25, because that's where Dollar Tree is at right now, $1.25. You can donate as little as $1.25 to this cause, and every single penny that you donate to my Cash App, which is cash tag, that's the money sign, how the letter Y, see it. Every single penny I will use to purchase these period products, not just pads, but also rags and soaps and stuff like that. I'll be using that money to purchase these products. You will see the evidence of this. And when I go to Jamaica in December, you will see me hand over what however many things that we get to purchase with whatever y'all donate, and of course with what I'm already also buying. You will see me hand that over to her flow when I'm in Jamaica in December. So this is a worthy cause, y'all. It's a worthy cause, and as I said, it is a problem that's impacting a lot of young women, and especially young girls in Jamaica and also in other parts of the world. So go follow her flow on Instagram so that you can learn more about this issue that's happening in Jamaica that we're trying to combat. All right? And I thank y'all for donating. Like it will mean so much to me. All right? So thank y'all for watching, and as I always say as I'm ending my videos, if I can find the thing, please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like my content needs some more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. Follow me at How I See It on Instagram, Twitter now called X, and on TikTok. I'm also on TikTok, y'all, so you can follow me over there as well. And until my next video, hopefully my video editing app starts to work again. I don't know what was happening with it today, but it would not allow me to record a voiceover. But if it's working tomorrow, you'll definitely get another video from me. So until next time, y'all, remember to walk good, continue to enjoy your Mother's Day, and see you next time. Bye.